Welcome to The Explainer. Listen, right now, as you're sitting here, there is a war going on inside your body. It's being fought by the most sophisticated army on the planet. Today, we're going to unlock the secrets of that army, your immune system. It's this incredible network of cells and proteins that's working 24/7, all to keep you safe. I mean, just think about it. The air you're breathing, the doorknob you just touched, they're crawling with invisible enemies. In this explainer, we're going to dive into that constant, silent battle your body is always fighting against viruses, bacteria, and even internal threats like cancer. It's all orchestrated by this amazing defense network.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We'll start by looking at your body's physical defenses, its fortress walls. Then we'll meet the first responders who rush to the scene. After that, it's time for the elite special forces. We'll also cover what happens when things go wrong, and finally, how we can actually train this army to be even better. Let's dive in.
All right, so to win this constant battle, your immune army lives by a strict set of rules. First, it has to tell friend from foe, your own cells from invaders. Then it needs to identify the specific bad guys, launch a powerful and targeted attack, know exactly when to call it off, and, this is the most critical part, it has to remember every single enemy it's ever defeated.
So who's on the front line of this whole operation? That's the job of the innate immune system. Think of them as the fortress's first responders. They're super fast, they're everywhere, and they are always ready to engage any threat, anytime, at a moment's notice.
But here's the cool part. Before a single soldier is even called, the fortress itself is an amazing defense. Your skin, it's a tough, acidic outer wall. Your mucous membranes, they're like sticky traps lining the corridors. A fever literally turns up the heat on invaders to stop them in their tracks, while your stomach acid creates a deadly chemical moat. It's a brilliant, multi-layered system designed to stop trouble before it can even start.
Okay, this chart is awesome because it really breaks down the two main branches of our immune army. On the left, you've got the innate system. Think of them as the general patrol guards. They respond in minutes, super fast, but they're not specialists. They just look for general signs of trouble. Now on the right, you have the adaptive system. These are the elite special forces. They're slower, taking days to get going. But when they show up, they are incredibly specific, surgically precise, and most importantly, they never, ever forget an enemy.
So what happens when those fortress walls are breached? Let's say you get a cut. Instantly, those first responders sound the alarm. That alarm is called inflammation. It's like a blazing distress signal that screams for reinforcements, and it needs them right now.
And you know this process. You've felt it 1,000 times. That redness and warmth, that's from blood and troops rushing to the battlefield. The swelling, that's the area getting flooded with reinforcements. The pain is a crucial signal telling you, hey, protect this spot. And the loss of function, that just forces you to rest so the battle can be won. These 5 signs aren't just annoying symptoms. They're the evidence of your immune system kicking into high gear.
So what happens when the first responders are getting overwhelmed? That's when the call goes out to the elite special forces, the adaptive immune system. And this is where the fight gets personal, strategic, and incredibly precise.
Now, these elite troops don't just fight anything. They hunt for a very specific target signature called an antigen. You can think of an antigen as the enemy's uniform or the flag they carry into battle. Every virus, every bacterium has its own unique antigens that our special forces can learn to recognize.
And their plan of attack is just a masterclass in strategy. Step 1 is recognition. A single specialized cell finds its 1 in a million target. Step 2, activation. That one cell immediately starts cloning itself, building a huge, specialized army from scratch. Step 3, elimination. This new army is unleashed to hunt down and completely destroy the enemy. And the final, most important step, memory. A few veteran cells stick around forever, ready to launch an immediate, overwhelming counterattack if that enemy ever dares to show its face again.
So this Special Forces unit has 3 key players. You've got the B cells, they're the weapons factories, just churning out millions of antibodies. Then there are the helper T cells, these are the generals coordinating the whole attack strategy. And finally, you have the cytotoxic T cells. These are the assassins, and their job is to find and eliminate any of our own cells that have been hijacked by a virus.
Now, the most famous weapons that those B cells produce are antibodies. And these aren't just dumb bombs. They are precision-guided missiles. Each one is uniquely shaped to lock onto one and only one specific antigen.
So how do these amazing weapons work? Well, they have a few different attack modes. First, they can neutralize a threat just by grabbing onto it and physically blocking it from doing harm. Second, they can opsonize an invader, which basically means they paint a giant "kick me" sign on it for other immune cells to come and destroy. And third, they can activate this demolition crew of proteins called complement, which shows up and literally punches holes into the enemy cell wall.
And this right here, this brings us back to the system's absolute superpower: memory. This is why you usually only get something like chickenpox once. It's the whole principle behind how vaccines work. The second time your adaptive system sees an enemy, the response isn't just a little better, no way. It's exponentially faster, way stronger, and just devastatingly powerful. Those veteran memory cells can wipe out the invader before you even know you're sick.
But, and this is a big but, having an army this powerful is also incredibly risky. If it makes a mistake, if it gets the target wrong, it can cause catastrophic damage. We're talking friendly fire against harmless things, or even a full-blown civil war against the body itself.
Hypersensitivity is classic friendly fire. It's a massive overreaction to something totally harmless, like pollen or peanuts. A type 1 reaction, that's that instant misery of allergies you feel within minutes. Types 2 and 3 are slower, taking hours to cause damage. And a type 4 reaction is that delayed response, like a poison ivy rash, that can take days to show up because it's run by the T cells.
Autoimmunity, though, that is a full-on civil war. This is what happens when the system completely loses its ability to tell self from non-self and starts attacking the body's own healthy tissues. In type 1 diabetes, for example, the immune system's own T cells hunt down and destroy the very cells in the pancreas that make insulin. It's a tragic case of mistaken identity.
Okay, all of that might sound a little scary, but it brings us to our final and, honestly, most empowering section. How can we safely and effectively train this incredible army to protect us before we ever get sick?
Well, there are two main ways to get protection. Passive immunity is like being given a temporary shield. Think of a mother passing antibodies to her baby. It works right away, but it doesn't last. Active immunity, on the other hand, is like building your own fortress. Your body does the hard work of fighting an infection or responding to a vaccine, and in the process, it earns that powerful, long-lasting memory.
This is where vaccines come in. They're basically high-tech training simulations for our immune army. Some use a weakened live version of a virus to train the troops. Others use just a piece of a killed virus. And the newest kinds, like mRNA vaccines, they just deliver a set of instructions, like a most wanted poster, so our own cells can show the immune system what the bad guy looks like. It's all the training with none of the danger of a real war.
And the reason this training works so incredibly well, it comes down to the system's absolutely mind-boggling adaptability. Get this, through a constant process of genetic shuffling, your B cells alone can create a library of at least 3.24 million different kinds of antibodies. That's a custom-built weapon ready for almost any threat you could possibly imagine. It's an arsenal that ensures our survival.
So, why does all of this matter so much? I mean, beyond just not getting the flu. Well, a well-regulated immune army knows when to fight, but it also knows when to stand down. When it doesn't stand down, you get chronic inflammation, this constant, low-level battle that damages our own tissues over time and can dramatically increase the risk of developing cancer. Your immune system is basically a living, learning record of your entire life. It adapts, it remembers every single thing it encounters. Which leaves us with a pretty incredible final thought. Since this amazing system is always learning, and we are getting better and better at teaching it, what will you teach it next?